Well, thank you all for being here. Welcome to our virtual college fair. And today's session again is junior check-in. But one thing, if you're not that familiar with Education Quest, we are a nonprofit organization that helps students with college planning process and the financial aid process and hopes to increase the college going rate here in Nebraska. Again, my name is Winter Davis. I am a college planning specialist in the Omaha office. And we do have 4 offices. We have one in Omaha, Lincoln, which is in our headquarters, Kearney, and a one-man show in Scottsbluff. So sit back, relax. I hope you have a pen and paper because we'll be providing a lot of valuable information and answering the most common questions as it relates to junior college planning. So the first thing you want to think about before you start researching the colleges that you want to go to is exploring the careers you want to pursue. And like if you're like myself, I didn't know really what I wanted to do in high school. So some of the things that you can use is your subjects. So if you know what you like, you know what you dislike, and also your hobbies, as this will help you on your journey and it will allow you to figure out exactly what college you want to go to, and then how long you need to go to college. And so one thing is, when I say college, I'm really talking about a post-secondary option. And so that's something other than going straight to work after high school. So the first is a community college. And that is a 2-year school where you're able to get your associate's degree, a diploma, a certificate program, while you have other students who they will opt to go do a 2-year school and then get their general education out of the way, like their math, science, English, and then transfer to a 4-year school. And it's all because a 2-year school is very affordable. After you have your community college, you have your colleges and universities. So that's your 4-year schools. And that's where you're able to obtain your bachelor's degree. Or if you're like myself, an overachiever, that's where you can receive your master's degree and also your a doctorate degree as well. And then after that, we have your career schools. And that is like your cosmetology schools and then massage therapy. So those are types of schools that you can look into for career schools. But then you may have some students who will look into military options. They may also look for like apprenticeships, which is like on-the-job training, etc. And so that is, again, what I mean by college, a post-secondary option other than going straight to work. Now with that, for researching colleges, juniors, you want to do that right now in the spring. You first want to talk to your high school counselor and ask them any college advice or resources that you might have at the high school. And then one other benefit that you will have is talking to admission reps who come to the high school as well. Use them as a resource. They are very helpful. They can let you know about the admission process, scholarship resources, and then that is someone that you can lean on your senior year as well. Right now, your visits might be virtual, but definitely use them as a resource. After that, on our website, we have college profiles, and that is a way for you to compare schools side by side. So as you are narrowing down your choices, that could be a very great benefit for you. And then, of course, what you're already doing right now is attending our college fair. We will also have one in the fall. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. And then after that, explore every college website. Explore them. They have specific tabs on the website for prospective students. That is where you can, learn about the deadlines, scholarship resources, financial aid, campus visits. So it's a great benefit to just dive right into the college's website. And then the next best thing to think about is, things that you can consider. I always like to use location as an example because every student that I talk to, it never fails. They want to go out of state. They want to get out of Nebraska. Nebraska is boring, which is awesome. I went out of state. I was a student athlete. And so I went to a junior college, or for my athletes, a JUCO in Tumwa, Iowa, very small town. And then after that, I was able to transfer to a D1 college in Charleston, South Carolina. And something that I did not consider with location is something as simple as the weather. Of course, being in Iowa, I'm a Midwestern. I'm born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, so I'm used to the winters. But when I went to Charleston, I was not used to their winter. It really wasn't a winter. I was told during my campus visit that I needed a light jacket. I went from a parka to a Columbia jacket because it didn't get lower than like 40 degrees. And that's something I didn't consider when thinking about location. And so that's something that you want to think about is if you want to go out of state, what does that look like for you? And then for a lot of students, regardless of need, cost will be a factor for you. So that's something that you want to check right now as you're researching schools is what is the cost? And then probably the most important thing you want to do is go on a campus visit because everyone's website, it's enticing. Everyone thinks that they're the best school on paper. And so you want to make sure that that school is a right fit for you. So this spring, you want to go on a campus visit, definitely when school is in session, so you get that authentic feel. You want to see what it looks like when students are commuting back and forth from their classes 8:30 in the morning. And one thing that you want to do ahead of time is call 2 weeks in advance, especially due to COVID. There may be some regulations that the colleges have. It may be virtually, but I still say do the virtual tour because it's like a feeling you get when you're on your campus visit. It's like, can you picture yourself there? And one thing that I want you to remember is your fit is going to be different from anyone else's fit. That is your friend's fit, your girlfriend's fit, your boyfriend's fit. It's going to be unique to you as the student. So call ahead of time, see if they have any COVID regulations. They may have events like campus events where you can, go with your parents. So definitely call ahead and then ask a lot of questions. Ask questions while you're there because they want to tailor the visit to you. So if there's things on campus you want to see, let them know that. One thing that I definitely like is they feed you. So I appreciate campus visits. And if you don't know exactly what to ask, you can check out our website or use the questions that we provided for you for this virtual college fair. So again, ask questions, go on visits. Even if it's in the summer, we just want you to go on a visit. And if it's a school like a neighborhood school that maybe you're not that interested in going to, still go to that school so then you have something to compare it to at a later time. And then after your campus visits, which again will start this spring through the fall, you want to prepare for admission. So as you're researching colleges, you want to have options. I always tell my students you want to have options. You want to have at least 3 to 4 colleges. You want to have your first choice, which that's your dream school. If cost did not matter, you're going to that school. But then after your dream school, you kind of have your in-between school. If I can't get into A, maybe I can get into B. And then for every student, I want you all to apply to at least one Nebraska college, whether it is a 4-year school or a 2-year school, because most likely you can make that school work because again, cost will be a factor. And for my students who are looking at selective colleges, that is your Harvards, your Yales, your Stanfords, you may have the opportunity to look into early action. And that is a way for you to apply to the college early. And they'll probably tell you by December if you've been admitted. And then you have early decision. It's the same as early action. The only difference is it's a binding commitment. So if they tell you in December that you've been accepted, you basically have to withdraw all of your other applications because you are basically saying, I'm committing to this college. And then after that, for majority of the colleges, they have regular admission. So you have the typical deadlines of January 1st and February 1st. And then the last thing is rolling admission. That is basically school doesn't have a deadline. So you can apply throughout the year. And then in the fall, you have basically, I would say in August and September, that is when you're going to apply to your colleges. And you want to apply early because there's a lot going on in the fall. And so if you downloaded our timeline, then you can see senior year, you have a lot happening. You have admission process and then the financial aid process. So you want to get all of the applications in before your school's deadline, which again could be January 1st to February 1st. And the things that are required would be an application, which is always online, definitely do an online application, and then a fee. And so if you are on free or reduced lunch, then that fee will be waived. You will also need your high school transcripts and then an ACT or SAT test score. So right now, as you're talking to admission reps or you're researching the colleges online, that is something that you want to look into is if your college requires an ACT score. Some colleges may tell you that for admission, for you to be admitted to the college, you do not need an ACT score, but you may need it for scholarship purposes. So again, that's something you want to talk to an admission rep about, or even your high school counselor. And then after that, I would say it's kind of, for some colleges, you may be able to learn if you've been admitted after 48 hours or after 2 weeks. So it just depends. But again, options, options, options. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. I have had some students who they've applied to one college and that college happened to be out of state. Well, one thing you have to, I guess, think about is out of state tuition. So you want to make sure you're able to afford that college. So again, you want to have those options because in the spring, you will be able to then, as a family, decide what school is feasible for you as a student. And so how much will college cost? So during this time, you're going to hear a term called the cost of education. And so simply putting it, if you're talking to reps today and you're asking them, okay, how much does it cost to go here? They're going to give you the sticker price. And for parents, the sticker price might be a little shocking. And so one thing you want to think about is what is your direct cost? A direct cost is a bill. You'll be billed your direct cost pretty much fall semester and spring semester. And you have those 3 items, which is your tuition and fees. And that's basically your classes, registering for classes. And then fees can be anything like first-time freshman fees, going to a nurse's station, using the rec center. And then you have your books and supplies, which it's technically not a bill, but you kind of need your books. So that's something that you can use your financial aid for. And then you have your room and board, which this may differ from student to student because one, it depends on if you want to live on campus. If you don't want to live on campus and you're going to live at home, then that's not going to be a bill. But if you are going to live on campus, it then depends on how comfortable you want to live. If you want to live in a nicer dorms, apartment style, you have your own bathroom, that's going to be a little bit more expensive. And then another thing is how much you're going to eat while you're on campus. So you have to figure out your meal plan. If you are, staying locally, then that might be something that you can, kind of budget for, and you may not need the full meal plan. But if you were like myself, I was out of state and I was an athlete, so I was hungry 24/7. I needed the full meal plan plus snacks. So again, that's something to think about. Now, you have another thing called your indirect cost. So again, for myself, being out of state, my indirect cost was airfare. That's something that I didn't think too much about when I was in, because I was in Iowa and I was able to drive back and forth. But when I was in Charleston, I needed roughly for the year about $1,100 because I had to buy 2 plane tickets. And I was only able to come home winter break and summer break. So again, that's something that as students you want to think about, because I know at the moment it may sound nice that you want to move away from home, but you also want to think about the distance. Do you want to, live that far away? Because I technically was living in Charleston because I was only able to come home twice. But going back, my airfare was an indirect cost. So as a family, I had, as a family, I had to budget for that. So again, things to consider, but you have your direct cost and your indirect cost. What is a bill and what is a budget? Now, I know right now you're probably thinking, well, child, how am I supposed to pay for this? Well, next up is your financial aid. So there's 4 ways to pay for college. You have first your scholarships, and then grants, work study, and loans. And yes, student loans is a part of the financial aid process. It may not be the preferred choice, but it is an opportunity for your student to help them pay for their bill. Now, today I am only going to go over scholarships because grants, work study, and student loans comes directly from the FAFSA application, which stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And that is something that we will definitely dive in a little bit deeper during our statewide junior planning nights. So we have 6 sessions that you can definitely participate in. I highly recommend it. And we do have them starting here in March, and then we have a couple in April. And that is where we will discuss the financial aid process. So we'll talk about the 3 different types of federal aid. We'll discuss the FAFSA process, and then what's going to happen once your student applies for financial aid. And then if you want to, look a little bit more into our programs, you can visit our website for our events calendar. So up first is scholarships. Now, scholarships, there's a misconception. A lot of students think that you have to have a high ACT score, or you have to be an athlete, or all those other things, which that is false. As you can see here, there's a lot of scholarship opportunities for students. I just find that it depends on exactly, where can I find these scholarships? And so first, I always like to say you want to start locally and then work your way out, because local dollars are less competitive. So talk to your high school counselor, ask them about different resources. You may even have a database or a booklet that they'll provide for you. So you can start there. And then as you're researching your colleges, on the website, they will share with you all of the incoming freshman scholarships that you could be eligible for. And 2 things that I like to point out. First, the scholarship for the college, you have your admission-based. So that is just applying to the college. And that is why they have those deadlines of January 1st or February 1st. It's not a deadline to get into the college per se, but it's a deadline for those scholarship resources. And then after that, you may have just an additional scholarship where it requires you to have the application, an essay, and then a letter of recommendation. After that, on our website, we have Scholarship Quest, where we house over 2,000 scholarships, and we pretty much do the hard work for you. So you just have to create a My Education Quest login, and then from there, you'll fill out a survey, and then we'll filter through those scholarships for you. And yes, as juniors, you can use that resource. There may not be a whole lot, because as seniors, that is where you will be in the running for the most financial aid possible. After that, you may have private organizations or free internet sites. On Scholarship Quest, on the homepage, If you scroll down to the bottom, we have about 9 sites that we researched ourselves, and they're going to be on a national level. So they're going to be very competitive because everybody and their mom is going to be applying. But that is a resource I will have my students who want to go out of state. That's something that they can use because it's not just tailored to Nebraska students. So after you exhaust all the local dollars from your high school, your middle school, from your parents' work, that's something that you can look into. Then you can look at those national sites. But one thing you want to do is never pay for anything. If it's asking for a credit card number, a social security number, it's probably a scam. And if you have those questions and if you want for us to kind of like fill that scholarship out for you, definitely call our office. We have a scholarship department in Lincoln that is what they do all day, every day. So we can definitely research that for you. And then through our organization, we do have scholarship resources. We have what's called our scavenger hunt scholarship, and that is a way for you to find items on our website, and then you fill out the application and you turn it in. Very easy, and as juniors, you can apply for it. We pick 2 winners, and it's worth $500. And then the second, which is happening throughout the year, is our Get Social Scholarship. And that is one where you can basically follow us on all of our social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And every time we reach a milestone of 250 followers, we will open the scholarship up. And it's not a scholarship where you have to be following us for a long time. You can literally follow us the day before and apply for that scholarship. And again, it's every time we reach the milestone of 250 followers. So the scholarship application could technically open multiple times in 1 month. So that is something that we will offer for you for all of our Nebraska students. And then another thing that I'll point out with the scholarship process is it's tedious. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's very tedious. But as juniors, right now is when you want to start the process. And one benefit that you have is if you have senior friends, they are filling out scholarships right now. So bug them, pick their brains, ask them what scholarships are they applying for. Because I find that once you're a senior, it is very hard to look and apply for scholarships at the same time. So you want to do that process now. I would say get a spreadsheet, pull up a spreadsheet, pinpoint all the scholarships you want to apply to senior year. And then as a senior, you already know exactly what scholarships you're going to apply to. And it's going to make the process a breeze. And with scholarships, I don't have a blueprint where I say, if you apply for XYZ, you're going to get every scholarship. But I do know that the more you apply for, it does increase the odds of you receiving a scholarship. And again, if you want to go out of state, you have to have that out of state effort and apply for scholarships, because regardless of the federal process of grants, work study, and loans, students who are going out of state, including myself, still needed scholarship dollars. So again, as juniors, you want to start that process now. Save all your essays, think about who you want as other recommendations, so then you're prepared as seniors in the fall. With that being said, again, as a nonprofit organization, we do offer free resources and services virtually as of now. We do offer college planning appointments that you can definitely call us today. We can go through a one-on-one appointment with you this spring and in the summer. And then starting in the fall, we can help you with the FAFSA process as well. And then different resources that we have on our website. If you don't have a resume right now, you can access our activities resume. We help you with that process. We have different templates that you can choose from. And then one thing that you can do is fill out a college funding estimator, because for your FAFSA application, you will be using your 2020 taxes. So that will give you your estimated results. So then you will know exactly what that will look like for you in the fall. And then we have the timeline for juniors and seniors, FAFSA tools, scholarship requests, etc. And then again, you can check out our website for upcoming events. And with that, if we have any questions, Victor?
No questions at this time. I've answered most of them through the feature here. But just some common things, where do we find the timeline on our website? Are there good programs out there? That's a pretty common question that we get. As though we do research colleges with your counselors in the summertime, you might want to reach out to your counselor and see if they have any ideas, or speaking to those representatives that are on campus. So that was it. Yeah, they kept me pretty busy on there.
Well, thank you so much. All right, well, with that, thank you all for attending the junior check-in session. We hope you found it helpful, and we look forward to seeing you at our next session tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the college fair.